We're coming to the end of October and the Pokemon market has been turned on its head. Some cards have been going up and others have been crashing like crazy. So today we'll be taking a look at what has been going on in the single card market for some of the biggest cards right now towards the end of October. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we are taking a look once again at the singles market to give us an idea of what has been going on in the Pokemon market, because it has been going crazy. There have been cards that have been going up in price. We're talking Scarlet and Violet era cards going up. There are cards that have been dropping across the board in Sword and Shield. There's actually been cards dropping in XY era, and of course Sun and Moon is just doing crazy things. So today we're covering 4 different eras on TCG Player. So let's get into it. Coming in first for the big climbers, we have the Dialga EX, the silver card from Phantom Forces. Now this is a beautiful, stunning card. I believe it's the only silver card to exist. This card is an absolute beauty. Phantom Forces, very expensive to get a hold of. It is a fantastic set, some amazing cards. And the thing is, this Dialga has been showing good climbs over the past year. As you can see here guys, this card has been going from 150 or 140 all the way up to $200. Now you may be thinking, well, $50, I mean, that's really good in a year. Like, in all honesty, that's actually pretty good. Now it is the most expensive card in Phantom Forces, and Phantom Forces, like I say, is ridiculously expensive. Would you say it's worth? Well, I say it's worth it at $200. I mean, it is a fantastic card. It's a very unique card, but compared to some of the most recent modern cards, especially in the Sword and Shield era and definitely in Sun and Moon, XY era cards are really just not holding up their end of the value at all. Even though it is a much older era than Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet and even the new stuff, a lot of the newer cards are holding much higher value across the board compared to a lot of cards in the XY era, which we'll get into the next one. But the next one we have the Charizard from XY Evolutions. Now XY Evolutions is a fantastic set. Booster box is still quite pricey. We're looking around about $800 a booster box. Yes, this set was printed into absolute oblivion, but the booster boxes are holding very good value. This is the biggest card to pull in the set, period. The biggest card, right? In a holo, guys, in a holo for this one, it has been crashing like crazy. We're looking at around $40 for a holo Charizard. I mean, even the reverse holo, we're looking around $34. It is not doing very well at all. Like, straight up, it is not doing well. We go back to the last year, we can really see the decline of the biggest cards in XY Evolutions. Now let's put things into perspective. It is nearly the same price as a booster pack. The biggest card in the set, Raw, is nearly the same price of a booster pack. That is crazy. Now however, if you get this in a PSA 10, it is worth, I think it's like $2,000 or something like that. Might have dropped a little bit since then. It was pretty good to get in a PSA 10. But to get the biggest card, just Raw, remember, you're not guaranteed to get a PSA 10. You're not even guaranteed to get a PSA 9. Printing quality might not be on your side either. So it is very difficult to get hold of these in general and to get a 10. So this is something to look out for. Maybe now's a great time to pick them up if you want to get hold of them. But it really shows that XY in general, some of the single cards are not as good as some of the most recent modern cards, which is actually quite surprising. Right, now we're going to another XY era card, Ancient Origins, the Mega Rayquaza EX. Now this is an interesting one because this one has been doing a lot better compared to the Charizard that we just saw from XY Evolutions. Now let's take a look at this one. Bang, as we can see, this one's climbed very well. We're looking around $156 right now. It did drop a little bit from highs, what, 170, but it went from around $80 to $90 up to nearly double, to be fair, maybe 80%, something like that. So it's doing really well in the past year. This is a card that has been doing extremely well. Ancient Origins is getting more and more expensive, hard to get hold of, and if we take a look at it, it is going absolutely bonkers, you know, compared to the Charizard. To be fair, Ancient Origins, like I say, is a tough set to get hold of. It is getting pricey, tough pull rates. This is a beautiful, stunning card. To be fair, it's great for anyone that wants to collect Rayquaza. Then we're moving into Generations. Now Generations is a fantastic set, very similar to Celebrations. It is a very expensive set, and this is a gorgeous card. This is the Flareon EX from the Radiant collection. I've got it in my collection myself, graded, not a 10, but I do have one. It's a beautiful card, right? I absolutely love the artwork. It's super adorable. However, look at the price, guys. This is over the past 3 months. This card has dropped from $46 down to $30. We go back a year. We look a whole year of this card. It was going really well. Like, it was really climbing. And then look what's happened. it is dropped pretty much to near enough where it was a year ago. That is crazy. Like, that is super duper crazy. It's crazy to think that this card has dropped that much. So in such a short space of time, really, the past 3 months, this card has gone crashing down to where it once was, like I say, all that time ago. So it is quite interesting. It is a beautiful card from a awesome set, just super expensive. So you are better off just getting the card for itself. Right, we're going into the Sword and Shield era now. We're looking at the Galarian Berserker. This is the alt art from Lost Origin. Now, Lost Origin recently just had a reprint, so expect single card prices to drop. And well, this alt art really has. Sword and Shield alt arts have taken a monstrous hit. I mean, absolutely massive. And this by no means isn't an exception. This has dropped like crazy. Let's take a look at this. So we're looking at $15 for one of the biggest cards in Lost Origin. This is crazy. As you can see, it was $26, $27 just 3 months ago. We go back a year and we can see the fall of this card. And it's not the only one that has suffered the hit really badly, especially from the alt art craze of Sword and Shield. A lot of the big alt arts have been dropping in price across the board, and we'll get into that in a separate video because things are getting super crazy. But just this one alone, we're looking around $40 odd there, and it is now $15. It is dropped, well, it's dropped to a third, basically. A third of its price, dropped like 66%. This is just bonkers, like, to think that a card has dropped that much. But there we go. Lost Origin, like I say, the reprints are really taking hold of some of those top valuable cards. Right, Whitney, we're looking at Lost Thunder. I love Lost Thunder. Sun and Moon waifu cards. Is the waifu craze still there? I did a video on Japanese recently, and the waifu craze has been calming down. Those prices have been dropping. However, in the Sun and Moon era, they're still holding strong. They're still doing very well, and this card is no exception. Look at this, guys. This is an example of the waifu craze, and it basically is, you know, female trainers going absolutely bonkers. Now, in English, they normally don't do very well, especially if you look at the Sword and Shield era. They just don't hold much value. When they come out in English, they just fall, right? But in Sun and Moon, they've been doing the opposite, which is absolutely crazy. Now, this card's gone from around $30 up to $70, so we're now looking at a card that's more than double its value in a year. Crazy stuff, like really, really crazy stuff. So this isn't one of the biggest waifu cards, you know, essentially in the Sun and Moon. It's just an example of one of the, I would say, mid to high tier, but not like really crazy levels. And just goes to show that, you know, a year down the line, cards over double value. Bonkers. Alright, Scarlet and Violet era. We're looking at the illustration rare Charmander from 151. Now, this card, along with quite a lot of the cards from 151, have been going up in value. They've kind of beaten the trend of when a set comes out, everything drops in value. Charmander's holding really strong at $32 for a normal illustration rare. That's insane. Like, that's super duper crazy. Now, let's take a look, right? Now, this card hasn't been out very long. It was around 36 and it's kind of dropped a little bit. But if we look when it came out, when it first came out, it actually dropped as low as 17 and it bounced back super strong, and it's settling up, but it's kind of going back. It's going back to where it was at that really high point right there. 17 to 36, it's doubled in value. It's doing really well. It's doing really well, and all the other cards really are holding strong from 151. The pull rates are quite tough. It is a holiday set, so naturally the booster packs are more expensive, so you open up probably less than you normally would on a normal set. Crazy stuff, really. And I just picked this one as an example, but there are a ton of cards from this set which are beating the norm. However, not beating the norm is the Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Now, this is the big boy. This is the big heavy hitter from Obsidian Flames. Now, I had fears that Obsidian Flames might become the next Dancer Blaze, right? Dancer Blaze came out, well, blazing, literally, right? It did really well, and the set just absolutely crashed and bombed. I mean, the most expensive card is the Charizard at like $25, which is nuts. So we're looking at this Charizard from Obsidian Flames. That has been dropping as well. Let's take a look at this. Over the past 3 months, yeah, this card, over $250. I don't even know what the hell's going on. To 57. I wouldn't say it was 250. That's like hype extreme. Let's say when it came out, it was around 100, which is about right. It has dropped nearly 50%, basically 50% already since its release. Now, the pull rates of Obsidian Flames are actually really good. It's a small set. This Charizard is still double the value of the Charizard from Dancer Blaze. However, it's not looking good. It is not looking good. I was hoping that this Charizard would actually surpass, you know, stuff like the Iono and the Miriam. Now, it did surpass Miriam still, but the Iono is holding really strong in Paldea Evolved. The Charizard at 151 is doing way better than this. It's actually more than double the value of this Charizard. This is just crazy stuff. This is just really crazy stuff. Obsidian Flames, in my opinion, is, I would say, the second weakest set so far, you know, out of the Scarlet and Violet. And to be honest, this Charizard is a prime example of what is going on and what is going wrong, in fact, with Obsidian Flames. All right, we're going back to the waifu. We're looking at Unbroken Bonds. This is just crazy stuff, right? Green's Exploration. Again, I wouldn't say this was a card really on much people's radar, but look what's been going on. Again, we're looking at a card over the past year that's gone from around $50 and is $96.97. It's nearly doubled in value. This is just bonkers. Again, we're talking about a full art trainer that wasn't top high tier. We're looking at mid high tier level, right? All the cards going up, and like we've seen some of the others like the full art Lily and these crazy ones, but these are kind of like the middle of the road ones gaining insane value over time. Sun and Moon is doing incredibly well. Like, in my opinion, it's going to the point where Sun and Moon could be the most valuable modern era that we're going to see. I mean, Sword and Shield did really well, obviously, during the bubble, during the pandemic, but now all the prices are falling, everything's settling. Sun and Moon's doing the absolute opposite. It's crazy stuff to think. Unbroken Bonds is not a cheap set. Booster boxes are going up in price. What is it, like $500-600 a box? It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So yeah, Sun and Moon era, honestly, like if you want to collect stuff that's going to do really well in the long haul, hey, look, Sun and Moon's where it's at. And then we have the Unknown VOR. Now we looked at the Glaring Berserker from Lost Origin. Now we're looking at the Alphabet Soup from Silver Tempest. Silver Tempest also got a massive reprint similar to Lost Origin very recently. I mean, booster boxes, you know, they're on the cheaper side of things. And everything's taken a hit, just like the Glaring Berserker. Look at this Unknown. Following a very similar trend, we're looking at, you know, $25 or so 3 months ago, and we're looking at 15 now. That may not be crazy, but if we go back a year, you can really see what's been going on with this poor card. We're looking around $52 down to $15. What's going on? What is going on? You know, and we're looking at, you know, a big art. It's like what was anyway the second biggest card in the set. Poor, absolutely poor. I mean, Lugia has been dropping like crazy as well, and like, you know, pretty much every single alt art near enough. I mean, there might be maybe one or two that are holding good value, mainly the Fusion Strike ones. All the rest are falling. I mean, even the Evolving Skies, you know, we thought that set was, you know, kind of untouchable, right? Single card prices are absolutely falling. We'll get a touch on that in an upcoming video, like I say, but this is just to give you a little sneak peek of what's been going on. This is just crazy. So yeah, if you want to pick up alt arts, now's a great time. Honestly, now's a great time to pick up alt arts from the Sword and Shield era. There you have it, guys. That is what has been going on in the single card market. Like I say, across 4 different generations. We looked at Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, X and Y. X and Y have some climbers, but they have some real big duds like the Charizard from XY Evolutions, which is actually crazy. And then we're looking at Sun and Moon. Impeccable. It's doing absolutely insane. Then we look at Sword and Shield. The opposite. It's doing absolutely, quite frankly, trash. I mean, you look at the Fusion Strike ones, they're holding well, and we'll touch on that in an upcoming video, but Fusion Strike are holding well, and as we saw from the Glaring Berserker and we saw from the Unknown, I mean, now's a great time. If you want to pick them up, now is a fantastic time. Better than ever to get some Sword and Shield arts. And then we take a look at the Scarlet and Violet, and we're doing pretty well. When you look at 151, cards are holding strong. You look at Obsidian Flames, it gives you an example of when PokeJace is too good that it ruins a card's value, and that could have a massive impact on the desirability, not just of for the cards, but for the sealed product prices as well for the future. If you made it this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, then make sure to smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more Pokemon content. And if you want to know what I've been selling right now this year in this market, then make sure to click on this video right here. If you watch more Pokemon content, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, as we do a ton of different Pokemon content just for you guys. Alright guys, that's it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.